is that if given a chance, we can able to spend that money because we have tested it elsewhere and it has delivered results. So in the financial year 26-27, we can able to spend the 9+ billion on slack. Yes. 900 billion.
Across all ranks in the UPDF and civilians. I hope you are all aware that, and of course, generals, they range from about 15, a little bit down to like 12, 8, 9, yeah. So,
Madam PS, on our, we gave a parliamentary resolution to that effect. We
yes,
raised the salaries. What was agreed, I think, at operational level was that it would be incremental every financial year, right?
Yes, yes.
But we gave you a green light. In fact, when we went for our campaigns, we were telling families that, look, us, we did our part. So it's now up to you to make sure you implement, which will be taking you on every financial year, a soldier's salary from private to captain, right? Has
yes,
to be, there has to be an increment on that.
UPDF here can attest to that.
Yeah.
We are already doing it. Within the response, we are also saying that the drivers of increased wage expenditure are because of increased strength of both civilian and UPDF personnel, and also the salary enhancement of scientists in UPDF. The next issue was on clarifying whether reforms, promotions, or salary enhancements are responsible for this increase. I think I've already responded to that up there. Yes.
By increasing the salary from a private to a captain, we are looking at a private to be at the level of a grade 3 primary teacher. And according to my, is it 650 really? It is supposed to be 700.
800 and yeah.
Yes.
We say
that is the baseline, and even HE, the commander-in-chief, was also stating so. Did you negate from the parliamentary resolution?
No, I think the chair actually explained that. That we are going to do phased increment of the wages of the soldier. So we are at 650, but we intend even to go higher than that. And so...
What's the guidance?
It was 280, then incremental.
After we had honored, yes.
That is even
information.
Baseline, but it didn't bear a deadline. It is supposed to be incremental.
Incremental. I think that's what I remember very well. That's what eventually
seek the support of Parliament. A motivated officer, military or police, is a person that is well taken care of. We are trying, and we want to thank you again. You passed that as approved. Was actually 800, supposed to be the basic.
800, yeah.
And this financial year, I don't want to accuse the Minister of Finance. We didn't get that money.
You need
Parliament,
to get it, yeah.
You passed it, you might want to interact with the finance. It was appropriated, but we never got the money. And the officers out there are looking for that money. When they look at my jacket, they think
you
I'm
have
not
taken
caring
money
about them. They have children to take care of. These are people who are working. And the Parliament, with the strategic guidance also from our Commander-in-Chief, we wanted to resolve this in 3 or 4 years. So it's good that you're picking it up. We need your support as Parliament to make sure that this is concluded.
Yeah.
Because the more we delay, we are only postponing. It's a given that these officers should get their pay rise, and the minimum will be like 1 million or 1.1.
Thank you. Okay, I think, honorable colleagues, it's now on both budget and finance. Make sure our resolution is implemented without any let or hindrance. Yes.
In the amendments, we also looked at the pension, and this was attached to salaries. Might it be the reason why you are dilly-dallying? And are you already implementing this? I wanted to get it from that pension angle. How far, after the amendments, how has it grown? Because it was supposed to be paid on salary and to be effective.
Honorable Chair,
you could brief us
the salary is pegged to salary. As that is ably answered in some of the issues you raised here. So we have the projection that when we get this enhancement of salary, the pension and the other benefits also relates. So we still need your support.
Thank you. Madam PS, take us what?
The UPDF Amendment Act. And that amendment has given the committee more work. I saw some of the issues raised which are related to as result of the amendments. And we are happy before you today, to be here before you, to answer and respond to all the responses, the questions raised, the issues raised. And to do this ably, I will want to ask the Permanent Secretary to help us go through this by, the committee has already been, the responses, go to our responses, and then highlight. Sorry? Maintenance. And I think they are voting along the road.
Oh.
They didn't know I was coming. They closed the window.
Don't mind. You are. So it also happened that your escorts blocked our MPs, members of this committee. Little did they know that actually they were going to
the same committee.
Same committee. It happens, so don't mind.
My escorts don't block anyone. But PS, you want to take us through this?
We had already externalized our responses to the committee, but go straight to the response. Issue number 4 was on credibility and sustainability of the medium-term expenditure growth. And on this one, the required response was on justifying the projected medium-term growth trajectory. And our response is that during the planned period of NDP 4, our ministry developed a 5-year ministerial strategic plan, which outlines the ministry's priorities and anticipated interventions with their corresponding budgetary requirements. It is against this background that MTF projections were determined. We have a table that indicates MTF projections in comparison with the ministry's strategic plan projections and the growth trajectory. So on page 3 of our document, there is table 1, which shows the MTF projections in comparison with our strategic plan projections. So 2025-26, we have MTF at 4,093,960 shillings, and our ministry's plans in that period was at 4.3 trillion 396 billion. In 2026-27, those who have the document, you can see those figures, 4.6 trillion. And here there was an increase of 14.16% from the MTF, the initial MTF. And under the ministry, we put our projection at 4.8 trillion. So the percentage growth in MTF then from the initial Ministry strategic plan was at 9.49%. 2027-28, MTF figures were at 5.2 trillion. This again being a 13.26% increase from the previous figure, and the ministry projection was put at 5.4, which is a 13.34% increase. 28-29, 6.4 trillion, percentage increase on MTF at 22.78, and ministry, our projections were at 6.7 trillion with a 22.8% increase. 29-30, we've put it at, MTF puts the figure at 7.5 trillion, which is an increase of 16.46%. And the ministry projected the figures under the strategic plan at 7.8 trillion, which is a 16.72%. 2030-31 is beyond the MTF period, so we didn't cater for that period. We shall do that when we reach there. The medium-term projections indicate a growth trajectory because of, one, anticipated security environment, two, acquisition of modern equipment that matches the evolving technology, and anticipated threat levels. Three is the enhancement of staff welfare, including salaries, pensions, gratuity, and health care. Four, increased strength of the personnel. Increased training. And six, macroeconomic environment like inflation and exchange rate. You have to cater for this because you can never anticipate whether it's going to be inflation. It's a matter of budgeting and putting it there. So another question was indicating whether these projections have been agreed with the Ministry of Finance. And we are saying that MTF projections were based on consultations between Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, the Governance and Security Program, and Ministry of Defense and Veteran Affairs. So these are agreed projections. 4.2, the issue was the declining allocation to core national defense activities in financial year 2026-27. The committee's concerns were the reduction, and it was inconsistent with stated objectives of maintaining a modern and formidable UPDF. There was also no explanation provided on how operational readiness and force capability will be sustained under reduced envelope. So the question was to explain the rationale for the reduction and clarify which activities are being scaled down or deferred for that matter. So our response is the reduction of 255.9 billion shillings is for UPDF, peace support operations in Somalia, AWSOM. And this mission is an externally financed undertaking, and the funding is determined by AU and the UN and is included in the budget, usually in the final stages of budgeting. So this is why it's not there. We expect this to come in the next circular. And then these projections will then be communicated. 4.3, disproportionate high growth in non-wage and development